Right, so here we are with another Tyndrum trip. This is just after Easter 2018. It's just after Bank Holiday Monday. This is the Tuesday. I've came up. I've just got to a spot where I'm thinking I'm probably going to spend a couple of days around. There's a nice big gravel bank just up there to the side, and you can see where this is going to be in flood. It's all going to be getting funneled through straight here with bedrock on either side, and then as you can see it opens up here, especially on the other side of that little bedrock slab there as well. So I'm probably going to start on all of those little gravels, get my little prospecting sluice set up and see what the day is going to have. I've travelled up here today as well, so I've already spent 5 hours driving. It's round about, I don't know, 3:30, something like that, so I'll probably be able to get another about 3 hours in today, something like that. Then I have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I'll be heading home Saturday, so I'll still be able to get a couple of hours in on Saturday, I would have thought as well. It all depends on how the gold's showing up and what it's like. But at the end of the day, the only way to find out is to get the equipment out and have a dig. So here we go. Right, so I've just filled the first bucket from the gravel bank. So I'm just about to run it through the sluice. I've brought my own little DIY prospecting sluice with me again. I just like the sluice just because it's so really easy, quick and easy to get set up. You can get it set up pretty much anywhere in the stream. So I'm just about to get set up in my chair, scoop and start feeding it through, and we'll see what it has to hold. If anything, we'll see. Well, the first bucket was a wipeout. Might have been the smallest of specks in there, but nothing to even bother getting the snuffer bottle out for. But it's alright, it's only still surface material, so if I don't get anything out with the next couple of buckets, then I'll probably move on and try a different spot. But because there's so much overburden on the gravel bank that I'm working at the moment, it's not worth writing it off straight away, especially with the size of the buckets that I use, because they're quite small buckets. So I'll run a few more of these and hopefully there'll be something to show for it. Well, there's the first couple of specks that are worthy of getting the snuffer out, but only just really. But at least a little bit of gold in the bucket. So get another one rattled out, maybe 2, and then head back. But hopefully there's going to be a little bit more than that to show for the next one. But at least it's a show, so we'll see how we get on. So bucket number 3 done. Well, ready to sluice anyway. Just got the sluice set back up, so let's see what this one's got to give. Well, there's the results of bucket number 3. 2 slightly bigger bits and a few small specky bits as well. So I'll snuffer all those up and crack on, get another bucket through. It's getting really cold now though, so I'll probably only do 1 more bucket, but still, it's an improvement on the last one, so hopefully the next one will show another improvement. Well, there's bucket number 4 ran through, and all ran through the sluice. I just need to empty that out into the pan, give that a pan out, see what that's going to give. Not really holding out much hope, just from the previous 3 buckets, but obviously I'm getting deeper, so fortune's my turn. But this is probably going to be the last bucket now, so I'm hoping there might be a little flourish for the final one for the day, but we'll see. Well, day 2 of the gold prospecting trip during Easter 2018, and as you can see we've had a little bit of snow overnight. This is where I was set up yesterday. This was my sluice run, and the amount of snow that's settled, as you can see, is quite ridiculous. That's the area that I was working yesterday, completely covered in snow. I don't think I'm going to bother working it again today. I don't really know how long I'm actually going to be out. As you can see from the conditions, it's mid pretty much blizzard. It's supposed to be going down to -8 later on today as well, so I can see today being quite a short day. So instead I'm going to have a scout around, see if I can find somewhere that's going to be a little bit easier to get into. Might be a bit more perspective, but as I say, looking at this, I'm not going to be clearing all the snow off this just to start working the same hole that was only given a couple of tiny specks yesterday. So I'm going to have a scout around and see if there's anywhere that's looking a little bit better, and we'll see if we get set up for the day. Right, so I've just sluiced the first bucket of the day. I'm just about to give it a pan out. I've moved spots. I've decided to do that slab that's just protruding out there. I'm just getting right underneath it with the pump at the moment. This is still just the first bucket, so I'm not expecting too much, but hopefully there might be a little bit, so I'm just about to give it a pan out and see what it's got. As you can see though, the conditions are slightly white, very, very chilly. It's snowing all day long so far, but it is what it is, so we'll see what we get. Well, there's the results of the first bucket. A couple of nice looking pieces in there actually. I wasn't expecting quite so big a piece on the first bucket. This camera's probably rubbish at picking them up, but I say there's one really nice piece and there's a few other smaller bits comparable of the size that I got yesterday. So just in that very first bucket I've probably found equivalent of what I found yesterday. So that's a really good sign. First bucket of the day, so hopefully the more buckets I do, the bigger the bits are going to get. So we'll see. Time to rattle bucket number 2 out. Well, there's bucket number 2 ran through. A few more bits in there. Nothing as big as the first piece out of the first bucket, but that's okay. I say it's still early on. I've just managed to open the hole up where I'll be able to get the 4-inch pump in, so filling the bucket now only takes 5-10 minutes if that. It actually takes longer to sluice it than it does to fill it. So I should be able to rattle through a good few buckets today, as long as the weather, well, it's already bloody freezing, but as long as I can stand the weather, put it that way, we'll see how many buckets we can get through. So there's number 2 done. And let's get on with number 3. Well, I've just sluiced and panned bucket number 3. Probably 3-4 okay sized bits, and then some more specky bits caught up in the black sands as well. So again, I'll get those snuffed out. Not groundbreaking stuff by any means or anything, but it's still gold in every bucket, so it's a decent sign. And the hole's only going to be getting deeper the more I work it, so let's see what else it's got to give. And there's the results of the next bucket. A few nice pieces in that one. Biggest pieces of the day so far, bigger than the first piece out of the first bucket. Really happy with those. There's about 5 nice big bits in there, plus quite a few little dotty bits as well. So it's a good sign. It means I'm getting down into some slightly better pace, so we'll see. Plenty of time left, so we'll get on, get another bucket rattled out and see what that one's got to give. But that one's a nice result, a nice bucket that one, so hopefully the next one's going to be even better. And that's another bucket sluiced, panned, and there's the results. Just smaller pieces again this time. But this one was actually more of an experiment bucket because the hole's big enough now where this bucket was solely from the left hand side of the hole, so the next bucket's going to be from the right hand side, and if the picker size picks back up again on the right hand side of the hole, then I know which one to spend more of the time on. I say that's not a great showing. It's there's one okay sized piece in there, the rest is just small little dotty stuff. But as I say, now I'm going to switch over to the right hand side of the hole and hope it improves again, and if it does, then I'll know which side to work. Well, I've just finished sluicing the bucket from the right hand side of the hole, and straight away I can see a picker in the top of the mat. Don't know whether to make it out or not. Yeah, I don't know how well it'll make it out there, but it's a good size one, that one, so I'll empty that out into the pan, see what else is going to come out, and see what this one's going to give. But it's a good sign, that one. It's better than what came out of the left hand side, so shows which side I'm probably going to be working. Yeah, there's the results of that sluiced bucket's worth. A couple of nice sized pickers there. So it goes to show it's worth testing the side of the hole that you're working. Obviously the left hand side didn't give nowhere near as much as that one, so as I said, I'll continue with the right hand side, see if it continues with bigger pieces like that, and if it does, then it'll be time well spent. But that's not a bad result, that. Again, that's just a small bucket as well. I only run half the size bucket that most people normally run, just because I managed to get hold of a metal bucket. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with those. So the sluice is already set up for the next one. I just need to get the bucket filled. Well, there's another bucket down, and again, not a bad result. A couple of nicer bits, a few smaller bits as well, all tucked up along. So that's not a bad result for another bucket. Another half-size bucket anyway. So it's worth working the right-hand side from the looks of it. Hole's actually getting nice and deep now as well. I'm using the 4-inch pump, so it doesn't take too long to fill the buckets. But it's certainly still cold enough, so I don't know how long I'm going to stay out for. Maybe another bucket or two. But there's still going to be a few more days of the trip to go, so at least it looks as though I found a decent spot to work for the next few days. So that's a good sign anyway. So get these snuffed up and crack on. Well, that's another bucket and more results. This was another test though. This one was working just the very front of the hole, The next one I'm going to be working right as far back underneath the slab as I can, and again it's just to try and find out if there's any slightly hotter spots in the hole or not. But again, it's nice to see some sizable chunks in every bucket, so it's not a bad result for day 2, and it was a good job that I moved on really, so not too bad. Probably time for one more bucket, then that'll do it. Right, well that's the last loose work done for the day. Had enough pretty much, so that's going to be it, but it has delivered possibly the largest piece of the day. It's got a bit of thickness to it, that one, compared to the other ones that have been hammered flat, as well as plenty of other smaller little bits as well, so it looks as though the hole's still not a bad hole, so I'll give it another hit tomorrow. Hopefully it'll continue to pay out as it is, and if not, a little bit better. The hole's getting quite deep now, so it's getting a little bit awkward to get the material, but I'll just have to rake out the larger stones and see how we go, but it's not a bad total for the day. So that's about it. We'll see what tomorrow brings.